There was no way Riley would go. There was no way she would get onto a train that traveled to Mars, even if such a thing existed. She didn't. She had work friends, a life here. Yet when she found the ticket tucked neatly under her pillow, she couldn't help but consider the possibilities. It wasn't like she had anything to lose. She was young, childless, with a job that could be done remotely. But still, the idea of a one-way ticket to another planet made her uncomfortable. The train was scheduled to depart at midnight. If this was some kind of joke, it was a cruel one. And yet the train ticket smelled faintly of ozone and stardust. Not like something that was printed with an inkjet printer and bought from a store. It felt wrong, yet excitingly so. It was about a year since her parents died in a car accident. Her sister had moved to Alaska, and Riley was starting to feel like the house was closing in on her. She hadn't even decorated the Christmas tree yet. But then again, what did she have to do? What did she have to lose? She had never been particularly close to her parents, nor did she have many friends. Her whole life had been spent orbiting the same small town. The only thing keeping her there had been her job at the family-owned diner, and her late night shift ended at 11:30 p.m., with more time on her hands than she knew what to do with. Riley decided to get ready for bed, but she couldn't stop thinking about the train ticket. She glanced out the window. In the distance, she could see the tracks that ran parallel to the road. How silly of her to think a train would ever come. And yet the ticket smelled so real. It said seat number 47, departure time midnight. She tried to throw it away, but it just wouldn't fit into the bin. After a while, she gave up and went to bed. When she woke up, the sun was shining through the window. She must have fallen asleep after all. She got up, showered, put on a clean set of clothes, and went downstairs to make herself some breakfast. And that's when she saw it. On the kitchen table was a steaming cup of tea and a plate with 2 slices of toast. The tea was cold now, but the toast smelled delicious. And as Riley took a bite, she realized that she hadn't eaten the whole previous day. For a moment, she thought maybe she should call in sick. Then she poured herself some tea and made a mental note to buy more bread. Outside, the wind was picking up. Dark clouds gathered overhead, and within an hour, snow was falling heavily. This was going to be the first snowstorm of the year. Riley put on her coat and headed out to take the trash out. It was then she heard it. In the distance, a train whistle blew. As she stood there watching, a massive train pulled into view. She could see its headlights from far away, but she couldn't make out any details. As it got closer, she could hear the sound of wheels on tracks and the rhythmic thudding of pistons. The train was huge, longer than any she'd seen before. It was also moving unnaturally fast. Riley watched as it passed by. She could now see details. The train consisted of several cars. In the front, there was a large dome, probably the engine. Behind that was a string of cars that looked like they were made of metal and glass. The last one was a caboose. Unlike the rest, this one looked old and rusty. Something was written on the side of the last car. Riley squinted her eyes trying to read it. Midnight Express to Mars. The caboose suddenly slowed and stopped. The other cars continued moving forward. A plume of smoke shot out of the engine and into the air. Then a ramp lowered to the ground. Someone was standing at the top. He waved at Riley. "Are you the new conductor?" he shouted. "He said to meet me here at midnight." Riley shook her head. "I don't know what you're talking about," she shouted back. "Me neither," the man replied. "But the engineer is expecting you. Are you coming?" Riley thought about the ticket and the storm raging outside. Where else did she have to be? She nodded and climbed the steps to the train. The man smiled and opened the door. "Good. We don't have much time." "Hurry up." Inside, the car was dimly lit, giving it a cozy feeling. The man handed her a lantern. "Here, take this. It'll help you find your way around." He pointed to the door at the end of the carriage. "Go through there and you'll find your seat. Don't get lost." With that, he disappeared into the shadows. Riley walked to the end of the train car and pushed open the door. Inside was a long corridor lined with closed doors. She walked down it until she came across a sign that read seat numbers 1 to 25. At the end of the corridor, she could see another sign that read seats 26 to 50. Riley walked through the second door and into a long, narrow train car. In the middle were rows of seats. Riley looked at the ticket in her hand. Seat number 47 was right behind her. She sat down and buckled her seatbelt. Across from her sat a young woman with purple hair. Oh. She smiled at Riley. "Going to Mars," she said. Riley nodded. "Yeah, you." The woman shrugged. "Didn't have anything better to do. Besides, where else would I go?" Riley didn't respond. Instead, she looked out the window. As she did, she noticed something odd. They weren't moving. The ground outside was covered in a thick layer of snow. The trees were frozen and the sky was dark. "Where are we?" Riley asked. The woman shrugged again. "No idea." Suddenly the lights flickered and the train lurched forward. As they picked up speed, the woman turned back to Riley and said, "Enjoy the ride." The train screeched around a corner, causing Riley to slam into her seatbelt. Outside, she could see that the scenery was changing. The trees became fewer and farther apart. The ground became flatter and the snow-covered landscape was dotted with rocks and boulders. "Where are we going?" Riley asked again. This time the woman smiled. "To a place where dreams come true," she said. After a while, the train came to a stop. The woman got up and stretched. "Time to get off," she said. "What?" Riley asked. "We're not at Mars." The woman walked to the door and opened it. "Don't be silly," she said. "This isn't Mars. This is just the beginning." Riley hesitated for a moment, then got up and followed the woman out of the train car. The door slid shut behind them, and the lights went out.